So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are following this live feed. This is LNTV Liberia Live coming to you from the grounds of the Executive Mansion. And today, President Boakai held his third cabinet meeting. So right after the meeting, we are now in an interview with the Presidential Press Secretary, Kula Fofana.
Convened by His Excellency President Joseph Nyoman Boakai. Tell us exactly what was discussed, the aim of the meeting.
Well, first of all, thank you all very much. You all are such strong individuals. I didn't know you were still here since this morning. As you know, I'm sure you've been reporting that the third cabinet meeting started since this morning, and we've been here the entire day. I can tell you, you just saw the president pass to go back to the office. It's been a full agenda. It's been a very active day where the president had his cabinet meeting with his cabinet ministers. They gave him briefing on the different updates where they stand when it comes to the first 100-day deliverables, and they also talked a lot of different range of issues in all the different sectors, those that were on the agenda as we went here all day, and I mean the president definitely looked forward to more updates from his ministers. And some of the conversations centered around food security. Ministry of Agriculture, for example, talk about where we stand on our issues with rice. Ministry of Commerce as well. We also had the Ministry of Mines and Energy talking about the issues of electricity. Remember, very recently there was a roundtable electricity sector meeting held. Some updates around that, where we are, and a range of issues culminating into things that have been happening specifically on the agenda. So it was a full agenda, a full day on everything happening in the country.
Okay. So the last time the second cabinet meeting was about the 100-day deliverables, and today tell us exactly, we have gone 72 days out of the 100 days. So where are we in terms of the promises His Excellency President Joseph Boakai made during campaign? For example, you will not have any car being stuck in major roads in Liberia. I mean, I'm sure some of these points were mentioned. So,
well, absolutely. So, as you know, as you've rightly put it, the 100-day deliverable plan is in place. Things that were already in motion, they're continuing to be in motion, but the little challenge is that, you know, the budget is yet to be passed by the national legislature, and as you know, the president did invite the national legislature to resume work, you know, call them back from their agriculture or constituency break, and now they're now debating the budget. We hope that very soon they're able to pass it so that those other things that required budgetary allocations and financial support will be taken care of. So yes, it's on course. Road work, preliminary works on a lot of different things are in motion. We're only looking for that signage of the budget into law, and you'll see a lot more happening. But the president, his 100-day deliverable, he's never changed. He even re-emphasized that today, that he's very serious about it.
Okay, so besides the president talking about the energy sector, like you just said, there are other concerned national issues may have been discussed there. For example, the issue of fire disasters all around the world, the country. Did he talk about it? I mean, did he really, focus on that?
In fact, it's not just only fire disaster. He also talked about general disasters that are happening. Interestingly, you didn't see the vice president here today in this cabinet meeting, because on yesterday evening he did send the vice president to go to Riverside, where the mudslide has happened, and about what we've been told, about 11 persons lost their lives, and he extend sympathy to the families of those citizens who lost their lives, and he sent the vice president there to go and intervene and speak with the victims and their families. Speak with the families and see what form of more intervention can be done. So yes, so disaster is definitely part of the agenda. So fire is also part of it, and all these different things that are happening in the country. He's very much concerned about those, and specific actions we're taking, particularly with those line agencies that are involved. Particularly, for example, the fire service, the National Fire Service was also highlighted among some of the things that needs to be done, as well as the National Disaster Management.
Yeah, so for my end, my name is Vasta. I work with ELBC. So, like my colleague said, the issue of electricity and another crucial parts. So when the budget is passed, what are some of the crucial places or sectors you think the president and think the government needs to focus when the budget is passed?
Oh, absolutely. There are key priorities of the government. Obviously, the 100-day deliverable, particularly in the areas of road network and electricity. Electricity and roads are top on the list of priorities, as well as other sectors like agriculture and education. In fact, the Minister of Education just recently visited the southeast, and she came back to the city and briefed the president on some of the challenges that you've seen. I mean, it will interest you to know that how challenging, the education sector is, especially in far to reach places, and how students come from very difficult distances to go to school. So all of those, are part of the reform process that the government is putting in place, and the president is very excited about what his team is willing and ready to do.
So just lastly from my end, we saw several ministers from different ministries. For example, we saw Commerce Minister, Landsman, Energy, the Information Minister, even the Finance Minister, the Foreign Affairs Minister, right? Is there any specific mandate given to those ministers from the president?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the president has been very clear on firstly documenting what each of these ministers have met and telling their stories and giving update to the public. He encourages the ministers to be able to update the public regularly on what they're doing. One of the examples would be on the General Services Agency, that's one, as well as the CSA, the Civil Service Agency. Also, for example, you will see recently the civil service across line agencies, the issue of personnel, even here at the Ministry of State. And personnel has been one of the issues across agencies where there are more people. So Civil Service Agency is doing this comprehensive process in reviewing all the entire listing in terms of people who are considered, on supplementary payroll, people who are in the civil service, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to have people earn what they work for. You want to be able to have a workforce that's really working, and not just have people lingering at different agencies that they're not using what their potential can be. And that is one of the things that the president was very clear to all of his ministers, that document what you met, do what you need to do, because the Liberian people are looking up to all of you, particularly him, because he is the leader of this ship, and he encourages them to do their work as he's always told.
This is very good. But let's talk about the recent action that took place here at the grounds of the executive mansion. All right, the Ministry of State. Did he talk about it, and also the issue of the asset recovery tax force team? We understand that this matter, has gone to court. What did he say about all of these issues?
Well, he did tell the task force to be meticulous in their work, and he showed that they follow the laws as it relates to how they house. The task force includes the General Services Agency, so that it's not just an arbitrary action that they're able to do, because at the end of the day, as they were reporting, that even GSA do not have any assets at the moment. So it means that, and they've been receiving tip-off on where these, things that former government officials have kept in places. So the president encouraged them to use, the law, use the procedure properly, so that these things can be fully accounted for and properly returned to the government. And he's very clear on those. He's very, very clear. And on the issue of that happened here last week, is that it's again on similar personnel issue. There were over 700 personnel that were on supplementary payroll, and the government does not have any resources to cater for the supplementary payroll. And it's an empathetic thing, because regardless, Liberians are Liberians, people who are working, everyone, and empathize with everyone. You know, he even mentioned that Liberians, people who are working, who didn't come to the force or to the service the right way, and they're on supplementary period, they're all Liberians, they all have families to feed, but the right thing must be done. And I mean, as he's always said, this is not going to be business as usual. When you come to work for government must be able to pay you. If government can pay you, government needs to tell you so that, you know, they can, you know, ensure that you get paid for the work you've done in the past, but not keep you if they cannot use your services or they do not have resources to pay.
So lastly, when do we expect another cabinet meeting?
So the cabinet, the way it is structured, there will be from time to time. And what I do know from His Excellency the President, he's really, because as you know, this is like the second going to the third month of the government. And you know, he's had the third meeting, this is the third one, and he will call cabinet meeting as much as he likes to get update. And you know, the government will be turning 100 days soon, so you will probably see another cabinet meeting soon, or a briefing so the public about where the country is in the first 100 days and what the country is looking forward to.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you also for being here.
Okay, so that was the voice of the Presidential Press Secretary, Kula Fofana, and briefing us right here on the just ended cabinet meeting held by the President along with some of his ministers, assistant ministers here. So we saw persons like the Information Minister, Jerome McPia, Commerce Minister, Amin Modad, Sylvester Grisby, that's the Minister of State, and the rest of the officials of government. So thanks for watching. My name is Vasta Talu. This is LNTV Live. Share, watch the page. Thank you ever so much.